For years we've been telling men it's okay not to be okay. But here's the thing, most men didn't believe us. When they did speak up, they were told to toughen up, to put on a brave face, and so they stayed quiet. And now we've got a generation of men dying quietly. In the UK, suicide is a leading cause of death for men under 50. Every week, 125 men take their own lives. That's 1 every 90 minutes. And 3 out of 4 suicides, they're male. But when men die, there's no ceremony, there's no outrage, there's no national reckoning, and yet the stats, they're staggering. Men aged 40 to 59 have the highest suicide rate in the UK. And even more, if you're from a deprived area, your risk of suicide is 10 times higher than if you're from a wealthy background. And still, most men never ask for help. Not because they don't want to, but because they've been taught that they shouldn't have to. So why is this happening? The first thing is that silence is learned early. Boys in Britain grow up absorbing messages about masculinity, that to be a man means to be strong, silent, and self-reliant. Academic studies back this up. By the age of 11, boys already show lower emotional expressiveness than girls, not because they feel less, but because they're discouraged from showing it. And research by sociologist Amy Chandler shows that emotional suppression continues into adulthood, especially amongst working class men, making it harder for them to seek help when they need it the most. So when we ask, why don't men talk? The answer is, they learn not to. The second thing is that loneliness is a killer. Loneliness isn't just painful, it's deadly. Biological research shows that loneliness increases the risk of depression, heart disease, and yes, suicide. And while women often maintain emotional supportive relationships, men tend to rely on active-based friendships like football, work, a pint at the pub. When those structures fall apart, many feel completely isolated. I remember reading one Samaritan interview where one man simply put, "After my daughter moved out, I rattled around the house alone." And this is a common story across this demographic. The third thing is a loss of purpose and identity. A lot of men build their identity around being useful, as providers, as earners, as protectors. But what happens when they lose their job, or go through divorce, or face long-term illness? Suicide rates spike. The ONS found that suicide is disproportionately high in men in low-paid, insecure, and manual jobs. And the International Handbook of Suicide Prevention confirms that unemployment and economic instability are the major risk factors for men. So this isn't just about mental health. It's about how we define worth and status. The fourth thing is our systems are too slow. Here's the most tragic part. Most men who received help only got it after they reached crisis. According to the Samaritans, men reported being given a leaflet or told to wait 6 months, or offered services that really didn't feel that were for them. The UK Parliament's Health and Social Care Committee even admitted it. Our current mental health system is reactive, not preventative. And for men in particular, the silence often ends in tragedy. So what can me and you do about this situation? The first thing is peer-based, non-clinical support. What actually works for men? Not clinical white rooms, not long wait lists. The research and real-life stories point to something far more human, community-based, peer-led support. The Movember Foundation has spent years trialing men's mental health interventions. Their data shows informal activity groups like men's sheds, peer mentoring, or team sports are far more effective at keeping men engaged. Why? Because they meet men where they are, on their terms. And the Samaritans found the exact same thing. One man told them, "When I'm fixing something with someone else, I feel useful. I feel like myself again." The second thing is purpose over pity. Another big insight is that men don't want to be treated like a problem to be fixed. They want to feel useful again. Studies on meaning-centered therapy, originally developed for terminally ill patients, have shown that restoring a sense of purpose is one of the strongest protectors against suicide. And it's not just an academic theory, it's what real men have said over and over again, whether it's cooking for others, mentoring someone young, or coaching a local team. The moment men feel like they're giving and not just receiving, things start to shift. The third thing is language and framing matters. How we talk about mental health makes a huge difference. Campaigns that use clinical language like mental illness or diagnosis or treatment can really alienate men. Public Health England and Movember found that when messaging uses phrasing like "be a better mate," "take action," "show up for your team," engagement went up dramatically. In other words, don't ask men to be vulnerable for vulnerability's sake. We should show them that reaching out helps others too, that strength and openness aren't opposites, they're allies. We need to move from crisis response to early intervention. The NHS long-term plan has said the right things. Early intervention, community outreach, support hubs. But on the ground, most services only show up when a man is in crisis. The NICE guidelines recommend identifying suicide risks in GP surgeries, housing offices, and job centres, but there's no national mandate. What we need is a lower threshold for support and a system that steps in before the cliff edge. The second thing is we need to give money to what's proven. Peer groups like men's sheds or calm zones or even five-a-side football leagues are doing most of the heavy lifting, but they're often underfunded, fragmented, and often national heroes rather than national programs are serving them. What we need is long-term investment in these spaces, especially in low-income areas where men are at most risk. The third thing is reform in NHS access for men. Right now, men make up 36% of people accessing NHS talking therapies. That's not a coincidence. It's because the system isn't designed for how men reach out. GPs need better training in how to engage men. Talking therapies need to be more flexible, and digital platforms must be designed with male users in mind, not just as an afterthought. The fourth thing, and I know this is hard, is to address the root causes. This isn't just about mental health, it's about economics, relationships, purpose. The ONS, the Samaritans, and the International Handbook for Suicide Prevention all agree. Suicide is tightly linked to poverty, redundancy, relationship breakdown, and housing stress. This means suicide prevention must be cross-departmental, not just siloed into the NHS. We need housing support, employment services, and social care to coordinate because this is a whole life issue. The fifth thing is to make male suicides a national priority. The government suicide prevention strategy for 2023 and 2028 mentions men, but here's the problem. It doesn't set a clear gender-specific target. It doesn't say who's accountable, and it doesn't match the scale of the crisis. What we need is this: annual reporting on male suicide trends, ring-fence national funding for male-focused services, and at a cabinet level, committed to reducing suicide rates, especially for middle-aged, working-class men. And here's a bold idea, but a necessary idea. Maybe it's time we had a minister for men. Just as we have a minister for women and equalities responsible for addressing gender-specific challenges like violence, economic inequality, and access to health, men face unique risks that need equally focused leadership. From mental health to education to fatherhood to criminal justice and suicide, male well-being isn't just a fringe issue. It's a national health and social emergency, and without targeted, visible leadership at the highest level, we risk letting another generation of men fall through the cracks, quietly, invisibly, and preventably. Now, this isn't about men being broken. It's about creating a space for them to belong and to connect and to be human. If you're watching this video and struggling right now, know this: you are not weak. You're not a burden, and you are not alone. And if someone you know has gone quiet, don't wait for them to speak out. Reach out, and let's keep this conversation of men's mental health going. So on this channel, we share ideas that help build better nations and help people live better lives. So if that's of interest to you, please subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video.